Yes, hello everyone, welcome to this video tutorial. In this video we are going to look at creating queries in database. First of all, a query is a question you ask about your data. This is the way of asking questions about the data in your database table according to a certain criteria. So when you look at queries in database, we always use them to answer those questions that we ask about in database. So we are going to look at how to deal with creating a query about the question you ask in your database table. I have a table that I created. We are going to use it to create our database queries. So please let us move together as we look at creating queries in database. This is my database table that I created, and it is what we are going to use to look at those simple queries that we can look at in database. We can look at all these employees and we create some queries. For example, assuming we wanted to look for those employees who do not come from Kampala, Jinja, Kaliro, and Mbarara. So out of all these employees, we are only looking for those employees who do not come from Kampala, Jinja, Kaliro, and Mbarara. So we'll go to create, query design, we add our table, and we are basing on all the fields. We'll drop them down here in the field row. The question we are asking ourselves deals with districts. So in the district criteria row, we would say not in, we open the brackets, we say Kampala, put a comma, Jinja, put a comma, Kaliro, and Mbarara. So these are the ones that we don't need to run according to the question we're asking ourselves. So close the brackets and run, which means it will only give us those other districts rather than the ones that we have used in our criteria. So you can save it as Kampala, Jinja, Kamuli, Mbarara as our query. So that is how we deal with that query. Assuming you're having employees and you want to get those unique records, so that is the criteria you can use to get those records. We can also say we are looking for those employees whose names begins with letter A. So let us look at that query, those employees whose names begins with the letter A according to the question we are asking the query to answer. So we do the same. We are looking for employees whose names begins with A. We'll just put letter A followed by the asterisk symbol. So we run. So we only have 2 employees whose names begins with the letter A. If it is the other opposite, say you're looking for those employees whose names ends with the letter A, we can as well change this criteria. This time we begin with the asterisk followed by letter A, and you run. your query. So which means this time we have 3 employees whose name ends with the letter A. So that is the criteria to filter out employees based on letters. Let us save this one. We say employees ending with the letter A. We can as well create another query. Let's say we are looking for employees whose basic salary is blank. So when you look at our table, we have those employees whose basic salary is blank. To create that query, we'll still go to our query design. The order is the same. You just follow the instructions or the procedure. So we're dropping all the fields. Sorry, we're using all the fields, not one field. We are looking for employees whose basic salary is blank. So the criteria to use, we just say, is null. Just that and run. So we'll have those employees whose basic salary is null. We can as well save it. Please don't always forget to save. We can just say not paid as our query name. Let us formulate other queries. Let us say we create another query for those employees whose contact is for MTN. So when you look at our table again, we have a number of employees with different contacts. So we are looking for those employees whose contact is for MTN. So we'll do the same and we add our table. The query we are looking for is for employees whose contact is for MTN. So we'll still go to the contact column in the row of criteria, and the criteria we use here, we'll just say like, we open the quotations. Hope you're following. The numbers, MTN is 077. We end with the hour asterisk and then we close the quotations. We have another code for MTN which is still 078. It is also for MTN. We put our asterisk and then the quotations we run. So these are all employees whose contact is for MTN according to database. Let us create another query. Let's save this one. So this one is saved as MTN numbers according to our query. Let us end with one query for today. Say those employees according to our table. This is our table. Let us look at those employees whose names contains 5 letters. So we have a number of them. Let us see the criteria we use to answer that question using our query. So we'll add our table and we drop the fields according to how we have been doing. We are looking for those employees whose names contains 5 letters. There are a number of criteria we can use to look for those employees. One, we can say like, basing on the criteria we want, we can say you open 5 question marks. Each question mark represents a character. So you close the quotations and run. So those employees whose names contains 5 letters, these are the names. Or we can even say, according to the criteria, we say len, which is a short form for length. You open the brackets followed by the square brackets, the field name, which is name, close the square brackets, and the bracket equals the number of characters 5. So you need those employees whose names contain 5 letters. You still run, so it will give us the same query. So that is the criteria to use to filter out employees based on the number of characters that you want. Let us save it. We'll just save it as 5 letters. So those are some of our queries that we have looked at basing on our table. We'll look at more of those criteria to deal with when creating queries. Thank you very much for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Computer Elites Uganda. Let us meet next time, still when looking at creating queries in database. See you